So Kenji and I often get this question, which is, if I buy a short-term rental towards the end of the year, how can I get my 100 hours in? And this is usually a question we get from people who are very motivated to take advantage of the tax benefits of short-term rentals. And they know that they can do this tax loophole where they do 100 hours on their short-term rental and more than anyone else in a calendar year. And keep in mind, a short-term rental has an average length of stay of 7 days or less. So people are saying to themselves, hey, I want to do 100 hours more than anyone else in this calendar year, but I'm buying this property in November. And how am I going to be able to get my 100 hours in? So we wanted to take a few moments to discuss this and talk about how to get your hours in if you're buying a short-term rental towards the end of the year.
One thing you could do, and this is something that some of our students have done, is plan a week and go to the property, right? And then just plan, essentially set up the property during that week. That means getting all the furniture delivered to the property. Then what you do is you spend that entire week building furniture, setting up that property for your first guest. And again, you need to make sure that you get that guest before the end of the year. In fact, a lot of CPAs talk about getting several guest stays before the end of the year. And so let's say that you end up putting in 12 hours a day for 7 days, then that's 84 hours right there, just from setting up your property.
And if you're struggling with the hours, what we would suggest is asking yourself, how can I make this a better guest experience for my guests that are going to come and stay in this short-term rental? And that'll allow you to come up with ideas to improve things for your guests. And also those ideas are going to take some time to implement. An example of that might be like building a guest book, right? And so for those of you who are buying at the end of the year in November, what you're probably going to want to do is you're going to want to self-manage it. And maybe if you're going to do a rehab, you're going to do a very small rehab, not only because of time, but also because you don't want the contractor doing more hours than you. So you're not going to want to do a giant overhaul rehab. You're going to want to say, hey, let me set up this property. Let me get some stays ideally in it by the end of the year. And then maybe I'd actually do the rehab in January. And that's a better option to make sure that I get the 100 hours more than anyone else and get it available to rent by the end of the year because I'm getting it right at the end of the year.